I'm heading to a place the early explorers once called the New World. But for me, it's home, Jamaica. It's an island I grew up on and even served in its armed forces. The first place I head to is Hellshire Beach. No tourist glamour here. This is the real Jamaica.
Okay, so what fish you have now?
In Aunt May's restaurant, you can pick your fish, relax and eat. 150 miles long, and with a population of less than 3 million, Jamaica is a lush, tropical Caribbean island. It may be small, but its people are a rich ethnic melting pot, coming together to form a vibrant mix of traditions and languages, arts and crafts, and also food.
Well, you have the curry from India, you have ackee from West Africa, you have the breadfruit from Polynesia, rice from the Far East. There's all kinds of mixtures of other types of food.
The variety of food reflects the diversity that can be found on the island.
I think, like music and sport, food can be a unifier in Jamaica. It's because food crosses all socioeconomic boundaries. Whether you're a rich Jamaican, a middle-income Jamaican, or a low-income Jamaican, we eat similar food.
Life may seem easygoing here, but don't be fooled. As I know only too well, parts of the capital Kingston are overrun by guns, drugs, violence and crime.
This is Kingston, the capital of Jamaica. Since 1872, it's been the political, commercial and religious centre of the island. It's also the cultural crossroads of Jamaica, bringing together ethnic groups and peoples, some who came here over 500 years ago. And it's through the legacy of their food that the stories of those people can be told.
It's good to be back home again and to wander around Coronation Market, Kingston's largest daily market, to check out the local produce. It's here you can taste the real Jamaica.
How much for the ackies today?
Finding ackee, saltfish and yams, food which became the source of a bizarre rumour after the Beijing 2008 Olympic Games. Jamaican athletes stole the show at those Olympics, winning 11 medals, including 6 golds. Runners such as Usain Bolt, Asafa Powell and Shelly-Ann Fraser surprised the world with their power and speed. A story spread on the internet claiming that the International Olympic Committee decided to ban Jamaican food, saying it had the qualities of a performance-enhancing drug.
Well, yes, I saw the joke, actually, when we were at the Olympic, we got a news, it was actually a joke, but, at first it was very disturbing.
You thought it was serious?
Yeah,
it was serious, right.
This year Jamaica is really taking it to the world, and, a lot of people just want to know, what we do, what we eat.
Given these basic training facilities, someone obviously felt there had to be a reason why Jamaica's athletes excelled.
Usain Bolt food. You eat this every day. Every day Usain Bolt eat this.
So I decided to put the food to the test myself. After a healthy meal of ackee, breadfruit and saltfish, I took to the track. The food is rich in protein. But it didn't do much for my performance. I guess I'd better leave it to the professionals.
You're the fastest woman on earth. Tell me a bit about the food you eat.
Jamaican tradition, every day mommy tell you to eat your yam, your banana, your corn, your dumpling because it lasts longer in the body. And I'm a food type, but I also love my rice and my bread, which is carbohydrate.
Right.
So I eat a lot of bread.
That's good for energy.
Yes, definitely. Right. So you'll find that when I'm in competition, I'll eat like 3 slices of bread in the morning.
Jamaica's Olympic champions became a huge source of national pride for the island. It was as if the island's historical journey had come of age, shaking off the shackles of a dark past. That dark past was slavery, started by the English after they captured the island from the Spanish in 1655. The new conquerors turned much of the island into sugarcane plantations, requiring a large labour force. The answer was to transport enslaved Africans across the Atlantic in small ships and horrific conditions.
They were packed like sardines, And a few 100,000 of them died before they arrived here. It's amazing that they were able to survive.
Today, descendants of those African slaves form the vast majority of Jamaica's population. The slaves brought with them their own traditions, culture and food, like akis. The aki took root in Jamaica and is today a staple ingredient of the island's cuisine. Slavery was also behind the arrival of another high-energy food source, the breadfruit. In 1793, Captain William Bligh, infamous for the mutiny he caused on HMS Bounty, brought breadfruit trees over from Tahiti as a cheap means to nourish the slaves in Jamaica. Today, breadfruit remains one of the cornerstones of the Jamaican diet. Slavery was eventually abolished in Jamaica in 1834 following rebellions. Slaves were now free to work for themselves. This is Devon House, built in 1879 by George Stibel, who became the first black millionaire in Jamaica. Today, the house is a cultural and culinary pit stop for visitors to the capital, and its restaurant, Norma's on the Terrace, is one of Kingston's favorite eating spots.
Why do people come here? It's a little different. First of all, the setting is beautiful. It's in a beautiful old heritage building, and look at all the plants around. The food is special. I have a passion for food, and I put my soul in the food, and I've taught my chefs and sous chefs in the kitchen to really enjoy food. They're not just coming to cook a food, say to see. They're coming to have a passion, to feel the food, to enjoy the food. I just don't put food on a plate. It's an art, it's art. So I make sure that the food looks that you look at it and you wonder, should you really eat this? Because you really eat with your eyes first. So that has, and I used to be a stylist in America, food stylist. So I've just brought it along to this.
After the abolition of slavery, the British brought in Indian and Chinese workers as indentured servants to supplement the labour pool for the sugarcane plantations. Vincent Chang is a descendant of Chinese immigrants to Jamaica. He took me to an old Chinese temple in downtown, one that I never knew even existed, and he told me how his family got here.
My grandfather came here probably on the invitation of one of his cousins. They came here. At the time, I believe that the baking industry was just taking off, and my grandfather got into baking.
The Chinese left the plantations and went on to run their own businesses. Today, Vincent's family owns one of the biggest bakeries in Jamaica. And it wasn't only the Chinese who came to Jamaica. The first Lebanese migrants arrived at the start of the 20th century. The community grew and even gave Jamaica one of its prime ministers, Edward Seaga, whose ancestors fled the Ottoman control of their motherland.
They really were going to the World's Fair in Chicago. That was not the only reason. That was the pull. There was also a push. Some of the younger ones wanted to escape from conscription by the Turks, who were in charge at the time. And my grandfather was one of those.
With their entrepreneurial talents, many Lebanese set up shop as retailers. Susie Hanna's grandparents were among the first Lebanese arrivals. Today, Susie owns a restaurant where you can find a delicious mix of dishes.
And we sell a lot of Jamaican food, and we have a little Middle Eastern influence. Things such as kibis and hummus and tabbouleh, and we do some baklava, date rolls. Sometimes we do other Lebanese dishes.
Susie's place is popular with the locals, and her clientele includes international superstars who drop in for a bite when they're back home, like Grammy Award-winning Sean Paul.
Being on tour a long time, sometimes you get food that is not really bad food, but it's not familiar to you. Sometimes cold sandwiches. There's places abroad where you do get Jamaican food. In New York, there's a place called Negril.
But not as good as here?
No, sir.
All right.
Jamaica also became a refuge for other communities, some escaping religious persecution in Europe. Ainsley Henriquez is one of the leading figures of Jamaica's Jewish community. He showed me around the museum and garden of Kingston Synagogue and told me about the island's Jewish heritage.
There were very few places in Europe that Jews were allowed to practice Judaism, and certainly even not in England. So that's one of the very interesting things. and Jamaica became a haven for people of different religions, including Judaism, under the British as early as the 1650s.
The influx of so many communities makes Jamaica today a vibrant melting pot of different races and cultures. No wonder the national slogan of Jamaica is, "Out of many, one people."
You would never hear a Jamaican describe themselves as a Chinese Jamaican or a Chinese, Indian, African Jamaican. They would just say that they're Jamaican. Versus, say, in America, where you would hear somebody say, well, I'm Italian American, or I'm Jewish American. We don't have that. We just call ourselves Jamaican.
And that Jamaicanness is much in evidence when the national football team play. United in the yellow shirt of Jamaica, the islanders come together to cheer on their countrymen, known locally as the Reggae Boys. But amid such unity, there is a darker side to Jamaica. In the second part of this program, we will see how Jamaica had been shaken by enduring political violence and how the country's food may just help to bridge the divisions.